Ramsey's horns are still Carolina blue, but everything else has been painted black. Zero Dark Thursday on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, and clothes might not make the man, but Bryn Renner and the Tar Heels are hoping the new Zero Dark Thursday duds will change their luck. North Carolina off to a rough start, and it doesn't get easier with Stephen Morris and Miami coming to town. The Hurricanes are unbeaten and hoping to push away an upset bid from the Tar Heels, but Denzel Perryman knows that trips to Chapel Hill have been rough for Miami in the past. Franklin Street and the entire downtown area in Chapel Hill, a celebration all afternoon in anticipation of this game against number 10 Miami. Carolina has a history of knocking off the Hurricanes when they're highly ranked. Samantha Ponders braving the rain down on the field. Sam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right now. If pregame excitement counts for anything, UNC's doing all right now. This is actually the first night of the State Fair and the first couple nights of fall break. So for the students that showed up tonight, they should get some credit. When it comes to the players on the field, both quarterbacks have been injured recently, both Stephen Morris and Bryn Renner. Bryn Renner sat out against Virginia Tech with a foot injury, but he is 100% tonight. But because of what happened during that Virginia Tech game, that being Marquise Williams, the sophomore quarterback, coming in and playing quite well despite the loss, the quarterback dynamics do change tonight. Marquise Williams will not just be in for a package. He will take the reins at quarterback for at least one series. Bryn Renner said he's definitely more versatile. We'll see what he's able to do tonight.
Sam, Miami won the toss and deferred. TJ Thorpe returning the kickoff for the Tar Heels. Thorpe is upended short of the 25-yard line, and North Carolina will start with the football first. Impact players when Carolina and their new duds have the ball. Eric Ebron, one of the top tight ends in all of college football, is a guy that will be targeted. He's the leading receiver, and the freshman running back TJ Logan gets his first start, an explosive guy and the highest ceiling guy among the North Carolina running backs. Miami's defense much improved. Anthony Chickalo and Denzel Perryman are the leaders on that side. There's Chickalo, good pass rusher. On third down, he'll move from his outside spot inside and try to put the heat on Bryn Renner. Renner going up top, a long one, and it's knocked away. He was looking for Quinshot Davis. It'll be 2nd and 10. As Sam alluded to, Bryn Renner has been dealing with an injury, a mid-foot sprain. He's a big-armed senior from West Springfield, Virginia. Threw for 28 touchdowns last year and is closing in on the all-time touchdown pass record at North Carolina.
False start, number 78 on the offense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Landon Turner, the right guard, called for the false start, so North Carolina will be looking at 2nd and 15 after backing it up 5.
That's not what you want to see early from this offense. A lot of that shooting themselves in the foot consistently. They can't afford to do that.
Renner's second pass, and they get it to Ebron. Ebron making his 24th catch of the year. He's stopped by Casey Rogers. North Carolina comes into this game with a 1-4 record, really the one that is changing the perception of the type of season the Tar Heels are having. That loss to East Carolina here in Chapel Hill, an unfocused effort and a very focused one by the Pirates as they came in and dominated play, rolled double nickels on the heels, scoring 55 points. As a result, North Carolina is reeling at 1-4 and hoping they can turn their season around tonight. Renner has it batted down. Chickalo was the guy who got a hand on it, and it'll be 3 and out for Larry Fedora's team. Fedora, a noted offensive guy, came to North Carolina from Southern Mississippi. He's in his 2nd year as head coach of the Tar Heels, has a 9-8 record here. Put together some terrific teams, some terrific offensive teams at Southern Mississippi, but this year with the loss of Giovanni Bernard and having 3 offensive linemen drafted to the NFL last year, it's been a bit of a rough go for the Tar Heels. Stacey Coley, the freshman, is not going to be able to return the punt, and Miami will have it for the first time tonight after forcing a 3 and out. The impact players when the Hurricanes have the ball. You heard David talk in the open about Duke Johnson. Morris has a number of dangerous receivers. Philip Dorsett, though his numbers aren't quite as big as some of the other guys, he is a guy who can stretch you and create a matchup nightmare. Kareem Martin and Trey Boston are the veterans on the North Carolina defense. This defense has given up too many plays, had too many busted assignments. Those two guys are going to have an impact tonight.
And they got to be ready to go right away. Miami is going to have.
Philip Dorsett, though his numbers aren't quite as big as some of the other guys, he is a guy who can stretch you and create a matchup nightmare. Kareem Martin and Trey Boston are the veterans on the North Carolina defense. This defense has given up too many plays, had too many busted assignments. Those two guys are going to have an impact tonight.
And they got to be ready to go right away. Miami loves going play action on first down.
They'll keep it on the ground with the Duke, and Duke Johnson slips a couple of tackles and gets across the 40. Jabari Price might have kept the Duke from scoring.
Miami is going to have to take advantage of a much bigger, much more athletic offensive line. You see here on a simple zone play, getting guys on the ground, staying on their tracks.
Here comes Duke Johnson again. He turns the corner. 2 carries, 2 really good pickups, and we expect to see Stephen Morris pitch the ball around the yard, but if they keep getting big yardage just handing the ball to the Duke, we might not get as many throws from Morris, who's had a solid season, has dealt with injury. He has turned the ball over a little bit. That's also been a problem for Duke Johnson. 4 interceptions for Morris, 3 fumbles lost for Duke Johnson. 2nd down and 4. Here's the play action Jesse was talking about. Morris's first pass is incomplete.
And this is exactly what you will see from Miami all the time. They want to run the football, be physical up front, and Stephen Morris, Jesse talked about his arm. He can sling it. They're going to take shots down the field to try to make big plays.
So it's important then, David, this UNC defense does not give up the explosive plays, something they did a very good job of last year when they beat the Hurricanes, keeping the football in front of you and tackling in the open field.
North Carolina's 3rd down defense has been horrible. They allow 46% conversion, but Miami hasn't been great on 3rd down. First one of the night for the Canes. Morris gets rid of it just in time, and it's intercepted! A tremendous leaping grab by Dominique Green, the freshman from Laurinburg, North Carolina. And we just mentioned turnovers, and Carolina gets the first one.
It all started up front for North Carolina, able to get a rush right into Stephen Morris's face. Taking a look at this again, not really able to follow through the way he would have liked. And a great job by the true freshman Green, going up, out-competing Herb Waters for the football and getting a high-point pick.
Dominique Green was a walk-on in January. By August, he had a scholarship. And tonight, he's picked off Stephen Morris. One of the reasons that they are so high on the future and the potential for T.J. Logan, last year in the state championship game in the state of North Carolina, he was playing for Northern Guilford. He ran for 510 yards and 8 touchdowns.
It's a good day.
Now, he did miss 6 weeks with a knee injury in the preseason. He might have been in the rotation a little bit sooner. Was better with the ball in his hands last week against Virginia Tech than when he had to pick up in protection. Ebron has it. Ebron rumbling through the Hurricanes secondary. And the Tar Heels are on the move.
If North Carolina is going to win this game, its best players have to touch the football. Their best player on the team, period, is that guy right there, Eric Ebron, doing a nice job on the shallow cross. That's an easy read and easy throw for Bryn Renner.
The gregarious Eric Ebron now to the sideline, and they've got the speed package in with Marquise Williams. He's going to throw it. It's into traffic, and it's intercepted. Tracy Howard picks one off. So North Carolina goes to that diamond package, or the trio package for Williams. They tried to throw it with him. Miscommunication, and we have an interception on each side. Tracy Howard getting it for the Canes.
We knew we were going to see Williams regardless tonight. Played well when Renner's been banged up. You think run game with him because of his athleticism, maybe they'd come up and bite on the play action. Poor throw down the field. Big early mistake.
Fedora told us yesterday he was going to go to that package in addition to giving Marquise Williams some time just running the offense normally. He knew he would get criticized if Renner had a rhythm and something went wrong, and it went wrong. So what do you think of inserting that play, that package at that particular moment?
I don't hate the decision to let Marquise Williams play. I just don't like the decision by Marquise Williams forcing a post throw with 2 defenders in the area.
completion from Stephen Morris to Herb Waters.
And I like the decision maybe for him to come in the game, but I'd rather him run the ball. That's what he does best. He's still developing as a passer.
So you're going to get a post up top. You got to be aware, though, of the backfield safety getting involved in this play. And this is a bit of a tough read for Marquise Williams, coming right off the bench, trying to give your best elevating receiver, Bug Howard, a chance to go up and make the play. Just too much traffic. Got to check that ball down.
Duke Johnson stopped a little bit short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short. Norkeithus Otis, who's battling a little ankle problem, makes the tackle. 3rd and short coming for the Canes. They need 1. They have 1. They have a lot more. There goes the Duke. Hot on his tail is Jabari Price, and Jabari Price catches him. Now, from your open, I would submit to you, and I think Duke Johnson's great. DeAnthony Thomas runs away from Jabari Price there, brother. I'm just telling you.
You don't see that very often. Duke Johnson, this offensive line is so good up front. They do such a great job with zone blocking. All of them on the right. Look at all those big bodies. Are good. He didn't even have to cut. Just stuck with it. Receivers blocking for him, and usually hits his head on the goalpost.
Gains the Duke. Stopped short.
Yeah, and you see at the end of that run, Duke reaches out, and he's had a fumble near the goal line.
Just South Florida.
Take it into the body. If you can get there, you get there. Don't reach over the goal line too much.
3 fumbles in his last 2 games. He'll have 2 hands on this ball now.
Back to the Duke. Hitting the backfield and swarmed under, and they're pushed back to the 5 for the 2nd straight time. Trey Boston is getting busy in the Hurricane backfield.
Trey Boston doing a very nice job close to the line of scrimmage, making plays. You're going to see him right here get physical, come outside, blow this play up. 2nd time they've run to his side. Lineman can't reach him. Nice job securing the tackle, setting up another 3rd down.
A big opportunity for North Carolina to force a field goal attempt. Canes would love to cash this in after the long Duke Johnson run. Morris. Too high for Higgins. It'll be 4th down, and the Tar Heels keep the Canes out of the end zone.
That's got to be a win if you're North Carolina. You've just thrown an interception in the opponent's red zone. You give up an explosive play right off the bat to Duke Johnson. And with your backs to the wall, you keep this Miami offense out, not allowing a touchdown.
Miami's backed up to the 5. Matt Gudis, 3 of 4. Field goal attempts. This one from 22 yards out. And Gudis puts the Hurricanes on the board first. Miami salvages points out of the drive, but North Carolina's defense, which has been maligned for much of the season, best case scenario after giving up the long run to Duke Johnson. Hurricanes ranked 10th in the country. This is one of the storied programs in the history of the sport. In the 90s, they won their 4th national title. In the 2000s, behind Larry Coker, Ken Dorsey, they won their 5th title, put together a 34-game winner. But in 2011, the Nevin Shapiro scandal, which still hangs over the program, broke. Now this year, Golden, while still no resolution on the NCAA side of things, has Miami off to a 5-0 start and hoping to push it to 6-0 tonight. Now, Miami could hear at any moment as a result of the NCAA Committee on Infractions. This has been a long and drawn-out process. The investigation started in 2011. But in terms of the Committee on Infractions decision, that's been going on for a little over 3 months. They appeared before the committee in June. It's not terribly out of bounds on major cases. And when you factor in that the NCAA had all types of problems with this investigative process, using unethical methods, some malfeasance that resulted in some investigators getting fired, there's been a delay on exactly what the next step is. Miami's already self-imposed 2 bowl bans. There is a feeling that they will not do that again, and hope at least that the NCAA will not keep them out of postseason, and whether they get any additional penalties remains to be seen. Move the schedule back a bit. Keep it on the ground. Logan runs through a tackle. They haven't had much of that from North Carolina this year. Picks up an extra yard or so.
They're going to attack Miami defensively in the running game to the perimeter of the field, away from all those big bodies, trying to get outside here, shield people off to the outside. They'll do it conventionally by handoffs. You're going to see it on reverse plays. They'll spit the football out to wide receivers to try and create grass for their playmakers to make.
Here's team safeties may get tested here. Ebron complete from Williams. Ebron still on his feet. Eric Ebron is on his way. He is the most dynamic player on the North Carolina offense, and Eric Ebron makes a huge play, 71 yards. And now the Tar Heels, as they often do, take a look and see if they have numbers for the two-point conversion. They do not. So they'll go in conventional method, where North Carolina has made 189 consecutive extra points. Make it 190. Carolina up 7-3. That 71-yard touchdown from Ebron, the longest play the Tar Heels have had this year, and the longest one the Canes have allowed.
A couple successful running plays makes you honor the play action. They can run the football. Watch these linebackers right inside. Watch what the play action fake does. Kirby 56 and Cornelius 31. Both of them bite up. Hebron can run right behind them. And then we talked about broken tackles, making plays for your quarterback.
Tracy Howard, a cornerback there, misses the tackle. And I like the play call, getting that flood concept. You got the two backup safeties in the game for Miami defensively. And there's a good decision by Marquise Williams and a very accurate throw that we saw against Virginia Tech.
Ebron's a gregarious sort. In the preseason, he said, you know, my speed ought to be illegal and not allowed on the field. Wow. But it is. It was allowed, and it found the end zone, and North Carolina, which desperately needed something good to happen early, suffering from shaken confidence after the 1-4 start. It's the first quarter. There's a long way to go, and it's just one play. But something good has happened for North Carolina, and they have the lead on number 10 Miami. Nick Weiler will kick off for the Tar Heels. He'll drive it about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Stacy Coley is convinced to take a knee, and the Hurricanes will have it on the 25. And there, Johnson, who had a 59-yard run earlier, is on his way to the locker room. Remains to be seen whether we'll see any more of the Duke tonight, and that could be hurtful blow for the Hurricanes. Crawford hitting the backfield, breaks 2 tackles, but not the third and the fourth. Zero Dark Thursday jerseys swarming over the Miami running game.
Right now, Miami is struggling on the right side of their offensive line in these zone schemes. They cannot get the defensive end block, whether that's Kareem Martin or Junior Nonconde. They're having issues getting guys manned up.
And Eric Flowers, who's a stud at left tackle, is not at left tackle. Chantrell Henderson's moved over there. He's a guy that we watched on the offensive line. He's their best offensive lineman, a really good athlete. Chantrell's a good player too, but keep an eye on him and see where he's at.
This last third down, remember, they were able to get pressure with movement.
Chantrell had a 1-game suspension, his latest one for violation of team rules. Morris is going to air it out and try to get it all back in one throw. And he completes it to Philip Dorsett. Misjudging the leap was a North Carolina defensive back, Dominique Green, who was going for his second pick, and instead it's another big play for Miami.
We said that this Hurricanes offense was a home run waiting to happen. It's because they have elite speed and a legit sub-4-4 guy in Philip Dorsett, and they have a quarterback who has one of the strongest arms in the country. It's a rule breaker with that combination.
Crawford.
That was pop-up 500, man. I didn't think that thing was ever coming down.
That looked like Randall Cunningham throwing to Randy Moss back in the day. Regardless of what defense you're playing, I don't care how many safeties you have back there, I'm giving my guy a shot.
But also a misplay by Green. Probably should have had to play defending.
And I think that's because you make them defend so much field. Running backwards, trying to judge a ball that far behind them is tough for any. That's why you play defensive back and not receiver.
Stopped short on it. 2nd and goal. Crawford finds a little seam, twists his way down to about the 3.
And guys, we talked about North Carolina couldn't give up the explosive play. And you're in position. You've got safeties back. You're doing what you're told. It's 3rd and long. Keep the football in front of you. You let Dorsett get even, and then you miss time to jump. Those mental mistakes we talked about. It's not always penalties, turnovers. It's the little nuances in the game that have really hurt Carolina this year.
North Carolina stopped Miami on its last 3rd and goal, forced a field goal attempt. He's trying to get it in the end zone. Morris getting pressure. Steven throws it as he's being hit and dropped, and Jeff Schottmer was applying the heat, and it's incomplete, and the Canes will have to try a field goal again, and another walk-on defender making a play for Carolina.
He's the best blitzing linebacker they have on this defense, and you see him from the 2nd level. Just take his time, patient, sees the gap, shoots it. Used to be a safety. You see the closing speed right there.
Have to settle for another short field goal attempt. Matt Gudis was good from 22. Now he's going to try from 20. He salvages 3 more points. Miami has had 2 giant explosive plays. 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. And both times, Al Golden's team has had to settle for a field goal. But hey, that's better than nothing. Had some fireworks in the early going in Chapel Thrill. You know, that is a tough catch when you have the hands in front of you and it looks like maybe you're going to have to turn into a defender and try to break the thing up, and all of a sudden the ball's in. Dorsett did a great job to hold on to it, and the flag comes out as the kickoff sails out of bounds. Quick toss to the corner. That's Logan. DJ gets it up to the 40, pickup of about 6.
We're going to keep seeing this, guys. North Carolina trying to get to the perimeter of the field away from all the size that Miami has inside.
Inside a minute to play in the first quarter. North Carolina with a 7-6 lead. Glad to have you with us on Thursday night. Logan, the freshman, powering his way forward. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 2.
Guys, it's going to be tough sledding if they try to run inside very early in this game. As you take a look here at Philip Dorsett, ice bag on the left knee, it looks like. You hope if you're Miami, this isn't the last you see of him. Holding your breath right now a little bit.
1 quarter in the books from Chapel Hill, the 9th day of Dub. 0 Dark Thursday. North Carolina trying to turn its season around by knocking off number 10. So far, so good. Tar Heels up by 1.
Yeah, that's my kind of night.
Al Golden coaching his first game as a top 10 coach in his Hurricanes after 1 quarter down 7-6 to North Carolina, and also down a couple of their most explosive players. Duke Johnson in pass protection took a knee to the head. He left the game. And then just a few moments ago, stud wide receiver Philip Dorsett got hit low and went to the locker room, and he was in tears. 3rd and 3. Renner buying a little time. Renner has a guy open. It's Quinshon Davis. Davis inside the 20. Miami trying to rip the ball away. Ladarius Gunter couldn't get it away from the sophomore from Gaffney, South Carolina. Pickup of 30.
Bryn Renner's not the same runner as his backup Marquise Williams, but he does have some escapability. I thought he had Quinshon Davis wide open right over the ball there, but a nice job just buying time, getting his shoulders square. Beautiful throw.
TJ Logan deserves the ball.
Exactly.
Deserves the ball after the great pass protection.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you can put him on the field, you see him make explosive plays, but you kind of got to hide him sometime in pass protection. But he was willing to stick his face in there and pick up a linebacker. And that's going to go a long way at getting him on the field, getting him more touches.
Doubt.
Now in the red zone, they go back to the Marquise Williams package with 3 running backs. Chris Francis, another freshman running back, is checked in, along with Romar Morris and Logan. The 4 fast cats in the backfield. Logan with Francis leading the way, but didn't lead it well enough. Shayon Green makes it 3rd and long.
Going back and taking a look at the blitz pickup by the true freshman running back here. This is an area he really struggled with against Virginia Tech. He had a lot of busts when he didn't have the football, but that's against a much bigger middle linebacker in Jimmy Gaines at 240 pounds. Like you guys said, that'll get you on the field. That'll earn you more snaps.
3rd and 14 is Bryn Renner as we turn to quarterback. Tyreek McCord gets pushed by Renner, who got rid of it just in the nick of time and completed it to Blue. He won't have enough for the first down, but Renner, it appeared his knees were millimeters off the ground when he dumped that football.
But still a big completion because it makes the field goal a lot easier to manage, and points are going to be at a premium in this type of game. I love 2 hands on the ball. That's kind of got discombobulated. That's down. They're going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah, that's a sack.
And now all of a sudden that just cancels my
Previous
points.
play is under further review. The ruling on the field is reversed. The ruling that was the quarterback's knee was down at the 30-yard line on the left hash with 12:48 on the clock. 12:48 on the clock. We'll start on my signal.
So the ball will be placed at 30, left hash. Thomas Moore will try a 47-yard field goal, depending on exactly where they spot it. And it looks as if the holder's taking a knee between the 37 and 38. 47 officially will be the attempt. Our spotter Mike Black saw Moore make one in this direction from 51 during warm-ups. It's right on the edge of Moore's comfort zone. And it's blocked. Blocked it. Miami ought to get a touchdown out of it. Going the other way is Ladarius Gunter. Special teams touchdown for the Canes. And how big was that sack now?
Huge. True freshman Artie Burns, just off the outside, gonna come in untouched. Great speed, gets his hands out. Guys, we've talked about the miscues for North Carolina so far. You've given up a long run, you've given up a long pass. Receivers not getting the right depth on third down. You've thrown a red zone interception. Now you get a field goal blocked on special teams for a touchdown. When you do things like that, that explains why you're a 1-4 team and 0-2 in conference play.
You know what you can't coach? Speed.
The other thing that you need to coach is have your kicker get rid of it a little sooner. He loaded up a little bit for the extra distance, got it off in a little over 1.3. 1.2 is the goal.
Well, our green line told us he was on the edge of his distance, Reese.
67-yard return, and Golden's team's on top. (13-7) Miami after Gunter took the blocked field goal back for a touchdown. TJ Logan. A little room. Logan gets out close to the 30. North Carolina back to the ground. Big pickup on first down. A.J. Blue getting good yardage. Samantha, what do you got on injuries?
Trainer has been busy all night. He did tell me that he can't confirm that Phillip Dorsett and Duke Johnson are out for the game. Just said that Phillip's dealing with a knee and Duke ahead. But I can tell you from observing on the sideline, the teammates of these two guys have been talking about them as if they're both out. Stephen Morris coming over to the O-line saying, play for Dorsett. It's assumed on this sideline they will not see those two guys back out here tonight.
It's a tough break for Morris in the Miami offense. They'll be without the guys. There's the number 17 on defense, Tyreek McCord, the pass rushing specialist. Renner on second down. Fires it wide. It's caught by Bug Howard, the freshman. Here are the two injuries that Samantha referred to. Duke Johnson cutting Kareem Martin, got a knee to the head. And Phillip Dorsett trying to make a play on a reverse, was hit low by Jabari Price and suffered an apparent knee injury. 3rd and 6. Renner down the middle for Ebron. He's got it. First down, North Carolina. What a night Ebron's having. And the two safeties from Miami collided, and both are slow to get up and pick up a 31 for Ebron.
The thing that's been most impressive to me watching Ebron this year is the catches he makes in traffic. You see right between two bodies, big physical presence right down the seam. How about the speed
reroute him.
Running right by Deion Bush?
You got to get a hand on him on the line of scrimmage. You can't let him get down the field that fast.
Renner wants the wheel route. Covered nicely by Denzel Perryman. He had to throw it away and over A.J. Blue's head.
North Carolina has a lot of size on the field right now, guys. When you look at Ebron at tight end, Bug Howard at wide receiver, Quinshot Davis at wide receiver, all of those guys 6'4". Miami now going to a little bit more man coverage. That size has to show up now for this Tar Heel offense in this area of the field.
DJ Ford, there's Ebron, who has been uncoverable. That's actually a word. Screen. Blue. Nowhere to run. It'll be 3rd and 10. Anthony Chickalo was the first one there.
And they haven't been able to find running game. This is basically like an extension of their running game. Watch Ebron come down. It's a block all the way. They're just going to try to dump it out and gain some extra yards. And a little hold there, but, you know.
Those never get called, David. This offense is loved.
Ebron's trending now. See if he's trending enough to have Renner look for him.
So what is Miami going to do? Are they going to bracket him? Will they double him? And if so, who with? Bryn Renner's got to be careful here with the football. Cannot take another sack. Be smart.
Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Quinshad Davis.
Looked like the cornerback, Ladarius Gunter, got stuck with his eyes in the backfield. As Quinshad Davis, 6'4", big physical receiver, was able to sneak in behind him. Nice throw from Renner.
Renner didn't play against Virginia Tech. Marquise Williams had earned some playing time. Williams threw a touchdown pass tonight. But Renner is playing like a guy who doesn't want to come off the field. Moore, who had his field goal blocked in return for a touchdown, puts through the extra point, and North Carolina is back on top, courtesy of the first touchdown scored in the second quarter against the Hurricanes this year.
We've seen defensive backs not play the ball well tonight. Dominic Green on the other side. You're going to see on the bottom of the screen, Ladarius Gunter. I don't know what he's doing. Nice route by Quinshad Davis, but the ball's up in the air. You just got to make a play on it. Well, he's got vision. What are you doing?
Well, it's cover 2, and he's supposed to cloud the corner, but there's no route underneath.
There's nothing to bite.
Him shallow, so he needs to get depth and get back and help out on this route. Give Renner credit. Give Quinshad Davis credit. Renner saw it, took the shot. He had Ebron down the middle of the field on a post. But tell you what, very impressive on that drive. An explosive running play from A.J. Blue.
And so back and forth we go. Kenan Stadium has been a tough place for the Hurricanes historically. They've been here 5 times. They've won just once. They were beaten here once. There's an undefeated number 4 team in the country under Larry Coker. Now back in the top 10 for the first time since 2009. In the first quarter and 5 minutes, they've got their hands full with the 1-4 Tar Heels. Going for a shot play, man wide open, it's Allen Hurns still on his feet, and Hurns converts the 3rd down, and Miami silences this crowd with a big play in the passing game.
So Philip Dorsett out in the game, and other guys have to step up. And there's Hurns, who's leading the team in receiving yards coming in first. Great job up front with protection, giving Morris a clean pocket. He recognized single safety defense, found his big play receiver in the seam.
Canes try to go a little tempo. Crawford breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up one as we have another look at the catch by Hurns.
And he shows the speed to separate. They'll stutter inside.
Trey Boston at safety. How about Trey Boston at safety? Looked like he got turned around. There's a guy that's given up some explosive plays this year in the passing game. He's been beat. A little confusion there, trying to defend the route.
Pressure coming. Morris gets rid of it. There's a flag down, and Boston, who just got on his case, has an interception. Trey Boston returns it over the 30. There is a flag down at the 38. One would presume a hold, but we'll wait and see.
Face mask, number 74 on the offense. That penalty's declined. First down, North Carolina.
We talked about early, guys. Norkeithus Otis, the fastest pass rusher for North Carolina, who left tackle Eric Flowers has had his hands full with already. He just gets a great jump with the home field crowd noise. Flowers gets a paw up in the face mask. It's a penalty, but it also, more importantly, forced the early throw from Stephen Morris, off target high. And there's Trey Boston, who had a mess up a few snaps ago, atoning for his mistake.
I tell you what, Norkeithus definitely guessed right on that. I mean, he might have moved a second too early, but Stephen Morris again making a big mistake.
14-13, Carolina with a lead. Sutton Drugstore on Franklin Street. They have a drugstore grill. It's real old school, and one of the 3 of us wound up there today, and he didn't invite the other 2 to go with him.
I had an Oreo milkshake today, guys. Totally forgot about you, but I did meet some guys on the band. Really nice guys.
Keeping the ball in the zone read. Marquise Williams getting a series, and he put it on the deck, but I think he was down. First down run for Williams. We're going to have a look. See if Williams was down before that ball came loose, holding it. Not protecting it. Knee down,
yeah,
ball
down.
Secure. He's down.
Knee down, elbow down.
Miami down by 1. Quinshad Davis had a touchdown catch from Renner.
You wonder, guys, if North Carolina tastes blood in the water right now. They just had a big touchdown pass, then got this huge interception.
And I tell you what, Great pass rushers find tendencies and find little tips. And if you watch, the left guard bunch taps the center. Ouch, by the way, Morris after that. The right.
We'll get back to that point in just a second, David. Marquise Williams complete to T.J. Logan out of the backfield. Here's another look at that rush from Otis.
Yeah, and watch the left guard right here. He taps the center, and it's 1/1000, and the ball's coming out. And Otis has seen this enough now. He knows it's coming, gets a great jump. Using that knowledge. Keep paying attention during the game, and you'll always pick up those little things.
He's always a squealer.
Yeah, always a squealer. Somebody's telling the story up front.
Story right now is North Carolina's playing with confidence. A.J. Blue might have been better off continuing forward. Picked up maybe one.
And they got two quarterbacks right now that are actually throwing the football well here in the last couple series. You see Stephen Morris now a little bit more dejected. Second time now he's thrown a pick, but Marquise Williams, 2 throws ago, nice back shoulder to his true freshman running back, T.J. Logan. We've seen Logan now pass block well, now catching the ball out of the backfield, showing you can be that complete back.
Williams has Ebron. Ebron is going off. He is eviscerating the Miami pass defense right now. Pickup of a dozen.
A nice pass pro from UNC. They pick up the corner blitz coming from the right side of the screen. It's the back, T.J. Logan, going out again, seeing it. He's growing up before your eyes.
Logan picking his way to the 21.
It's just me, Reese, but we see Ebron going off. Everybody at home sees Ebron going off. Might get a body on him, hit him at the line of scrimmage, get a little bit physical with him, make the game a little bit tougher for him. And that's just stealing.
He's already had, David, a career night. 144 yards receiving in the first half. Williams. Oh, he is stuck. Stopped in his tracks by Denzel Perryman.
And to that point, Reese, this is the first time Miami's pass defense is being tested this year. You play FAU, you play Savannah State, South Florida, Georgia Tech. None of those passing offenses better than 80th in the nation. You haven't seen guys like Eric Ebron and Quinshad Davis-Lab. So
Williams to throw. Oh, he had Ebron. It would have been a touchdown, but he overthrew him. The flags, 2 of them, come out from the secondary. For the second time tonight, Rayshawn Jenkins is down for Miami.
Pass interference. Offense, number 81. That penalty's declined. 4th down.
Singleton comes from the right side, and there's a reason Ebron was open. Comes across and just annihilates Jimmy Gaines. See Gaines chasing Ebron right there and just gives him a little shoulder.
You know who would be proud of that pick?
Oh.
Roy Williams.
yeah. Guys, the second time tonight, we've seen Miami safeties and defenders run into each other. Friendly fire in the back end. That causes Jenkins to get on the turf.
Thomas Moore, his last field goal blocked in return for a Miami touchdown. This one from 25 yards out. Or Eddie Burns was coming in there fast again. Couldn't quite get there in time. Moore puts it through, and North Carolina pushes its lead to 17-13. The Hurricanes are going to get it to start the second half. Head coach of Miami with Samantha Ponder.
Coach, obviously so many injuries tonight.
Yeah.
When you look specifically at your offense and how it's changed, how do you need to see Stephen Morris adapt to that kind of early adversity?
We just need some guys to step up. We had a couple big injuries that go down. We got to do a better job converting in the red zone, and we got to protect the ball better. 2 interceptions really cost us.
Also, your pass defense being tested tonight, specifically because of Eric Ebron. How do you need to adjust to what he's been able to do?
Yeah, it's the same thing. We've been dinged up a little bit at safety there. We got to make sure we get the safeties in the correct alignment, settle him down, can't get him one-on-one coverage.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Samantha, Miami is 1-4 all-time in Chapel Hill. On a 0 dark Thursday night, Eric Ebron's had a huge first half. 17-13 Tar Heels. Time to send you to Scott Van Pelt and the Land Rover halftime report. Scott, take it away with your fellas Mayday and Brian Greasy. The Tar Heels of North Carolina hoping to spin that ACC wheel of destiny and pull off the shocker. Tar Heels 1-4. They're up by 4 on undefeated and 10th ranked Miami. Miami good on the ground. Good numbers passing, but they've turned the ball over and they've failed in the red zone. Had to settle for a couple of field goals. Now Golden, the stern look. Talked at the half about missing opportunities, but his Hurricanes will get the ball to start the second half. That's Alan Hearns. Hearns has a little seam, but it closes as he gets to the 20-yard line as we check in with Samantha Ponder.
Reese, Larry Fedora happy with the effort and intensity his team is playing with. I asked him about the quarterback position. He said for Marquise Williams, it is all predetermined here in the second half. Has nothing to do with how Bryn Renner plays. He's actually very happy with how Bryn's playing. And he said when it comes to Eric Ebron, obviously they want to keep giving the ball as much as possible. But he told his wide receivers, obviously they're going to adjust the defense to Eric. So this is your time to shine.
All right, Sam, and quick correction. That was already Burns, a freshman defensive back. He wears number 1 just as Alan Hearns does, returning that kickoff. Hearns is on the field now, but getting the ball for the first time tonight is Clive Walford. How about a little tight end from Miami getting in on the act?
And we haven't called his name at all tonight, Reese. You're absolutely right. And he provides tremendous versatility for a big guy to this Miami offense. Not just in the run blocking, he can also play fullback at 260 pounds, but he's a big-time pass catcher as well. He's got to become more of a factor.
Pick up at 22. Dallas Crawford. This is their bread and butter running play. They had some success early with Duke Johnson before he went out of the lineup. Now Crawford, a good pickup.
And this is what they need to get back to. Eric Flowers on that offensive line, big physical. Watch 74. Hey, get downfield and take somebody out of the screen. Great job. You're so big. You're so good at zone blocking. I know you want to play action, but continue to run the football and make North Carolina commit more guys before you start pitching the pill.
Back to Crawford. Crawford bursting into the secondary. 3 plays, 3 first downs in the second half for the Hurricanes.
So the onus will be on North Carolina's defense to be physical at the point of attack. And guys, in the first half, they gave up over 100 rushing yards, but 59 of them came on 1 play. They were more physical than Miami, but right now, getting pushed back on their heels, they got to pick it up.
Tight formation for the Canes. Crawford. And it looks as if in this second half that Miami wants to say, okay, we're going to be the tougher, more physical team, and we're going to push you around.
And I love the fact that they're an aggressive offense. An offensive coordinator, James Coley, loves to dial up the deep ball. He loves to do it on first down. With all the speed you have and the quarterback arm strength you have, that's great. But in this game, run the football. You've got some key players hurt. Take advantage of the bigger, more athletic offensive line that you own.
Duke Johnson out. Dallas Crawford is carrying the running load. Morris to throw it. Gets some heat, and he's sacked. Big defensive play by Kareem Martin, and a huge loss for the Hurricanes.
And it's the same thing up front. If you keep watching, left guard is continuing to tap the center and let him know 1-1000, the ball's coming out. You continue to see it. North Carolina getting off, but just a great job by Martin. Somebody's not going to cross your face right there if they're running the football. Tight end cross your face. Good job getting upfield. Bad job by Stephen Morris not getting the ball out.
You don't have a lot of play calls for 3rd and California for James Coley. North Carolina defensively now keep the ball in front of you. Remember, Philip Dorsett on a 3rd and long had a long catch earlier in this game. No explosive plays.
Reese, we got a cool green line.
Got to get it to the field goal range if nothing else. Might get a lot more. Hearns makes the catch. North Carolina closes quickly. And a pickup to get Miami into a makeable field goal range on 3rd down.
Man, it's such a benefit to have a strong arm as a quarterback. We could hear that catch from up here. I mean, the velocity on Stephen Morris is just remarkable. And that long field throw, yeah, it's not a first down, but it gives you an opportunity to kick a field goal here. Nice job, execution, giving your kicker a chance.
Matt Gudis will attempt this field goal. It'll be a 43-yarder. His career long is 45. Has it on the way, and it is no good. And another drive into plus territory for the Hurricanes is not as productive as it could have been. Here's the snap. Got a good foot into it, but couldn't nudge the ball inside that right upright. North Carolina's defense keeps Miami out of the end zone again, thanks to a big sack. Tar Heels have it when you come back. 13-yard sack by the Tar Heel defense of Stephen Morris. Pushed them back. Forced a long field goal attempt that was missed. So North Carolina now has it for its first possession of the second half. Quick pass to Quinshot Davis. A lot of Hurricanes around.
How does the tempo of North Carolina now affect this Miami defense, guys? They ran 47 plays in the first half, and we know Miami's been nicked up in the secondary. They're not going to be able to rotate as many new fresh bodies in the back end as they'd like. Do they wear down like they did last year when North Carolina won the game?
J.C. Rogers out. A.J. Highsmith was late getting lined up. Ebron's open. What a grab by Ebron! In spectacular fashion, Eric Ebron sets a single-game receiving yardage record. He picked up 23 on that one, 167 yards receiving tonight. Better throw, it might have been another touchdown on the ground. Logan gets down to the 45. Is this a SportsCenter top 10 play?
No doubt about it. And might not have been a touchdown, would have been a touchdown. And you see safety Rayshon Jenkins had his eyes stuck in the backfield because of the play action fake. And that allows Ebron to get in behind the second level. And there was no safety deep. That could have been a score.
Ebron had a 71-yard touchdown in the first half.
Free release, off the ball every single time. Nobody getting up in his face. Just makes it easy.
Switzer, speedy freshman, back into traffic and down close to the 30-yard line.
We talked about this offense trying to get to the perimeter of the field and create grass. That quick throw to the receiver, that's just an extension of the running game. That counts as a running play, and that's where they've had a lot of success.
First and 25 after the 15-yard penalty. Renner, a lot of time, and he runs out of time. Chicolo's got him.
Bryn Renner knows better than that. He has to be able to get rid of the football. In this kind of scenario, when you're knocking on the door in field goal range in a tight game, you cannot take sacks. Nothing open downfield. He's a 3-year starter. Check the ball down or throw it away.
First sack of the ball game for Miami. They have to do a better job pressuring Bryn Renner. It's been too easy for him.
He came in top 10 in the country in sacks. Now just out of field goal range. Second, and they have to get it to Winston-Salem for the first down.
Here's Eric Ebron right here, flexed out.
On the ground. Still on his feet and driving was A.J. Blue. A little something out of nothing before Jimmy Gaines got him on the deck.
Looked like Eric Ebron here took a little bit of a shot. Just watch him right here. He's going to go in for a block. Downfield, comes into crack. Well, he got best he could of Denzel Perryman. Talk about that willing blocker right there.
Perryman's a grown man.
Yeah, he is. Not an easy guy to knock down.
The 3rd and 22, inside field goal range. Renner doesn't take the sack. He has a completion to Blue. A.J. Blue inside the 20, still a long way from the first down. But a more makeable field goal situation for the Tar Heels, who've already had a long field goal attempt blocked and returned for a touchdown tonight.
But again, not able to get out of their own way. And penalties have been a problem for North Carolina this year. They average 8 coming into this game per game. And, you know, TJ Logan has that nice run before the illegal chop block, and it sets them back. Maybe an opportunity to come away with 7 points. Now your best opportunities for 3.
And the thing about the chop block, it was away from the play. Thomas Moore, 35 yards. And he puts it through. North Carolina extends its lead to 7. What could have been worse for the Hurricanes. Number 10 team in the country being tested in Chapel Hill. Not really sure what it says about us. We're at one of the finer public institutions of higher learning in all the land, and all we can do is identify the animals in the picture book. What we can do also is identify that going on the road in conference play is tough. Number 10 Miami's finding that out against a 1-4 North Carolina team. 20-13. This is Stacy Coley returning the kickoff. Coley across the 30 to about the 33. Crawford. North Carolina strung that play out nicely, but Crawford was able to pick his way and pick up a couple. Here's what the Hurricanes have done. That Florida game, the Gators outgained them, but the turnover battle was huge. Miami, after a couple of quick early touchdowns with more than 2 quarters, didn't have positive yardage. And the next 3 teams they play, Savannah State and South Florida, aren't very good. Georgia Tech's been scuffling. Georgia Tech had some costly turnovers in that game. But Miami did come from behind against them. Gus Edwards, a bigger back, first carry of the night, and checking into the game in the second half. Jack Tabb. Tabb was suspended for the first half of this game for throwing a punch on a kickoff play against Virginia Tech. Tabb is a two-way player, also a tight end on offense, but because of the injury situation at linebacker in the preseason, had to find some defensive snaps for Tabb and comes up with a tackle checking into the game here in the second half.
Pass protection on third down has been bad for Miami all game long. Looks like they're only bringing 3. They got to give Morris a clean pocket.
One coming from the corner. Beautiful throw by Stephen Morris to Allen Hearns, and it'll be a first down for the Hurricanes.
Very big for Morris in this offense to convert that third down, keep this drive alive, and try to seize some of this momentum back here early in the second half.
Hearns getting close to a 100-yard receiving night. Crawford looking for the corner. Picks up 2, maybe 3 yards. Malik Simmons, pardon me, on the stop.
When we talk about changing the line of scrimmage from the defensive front, watch Kareem Martin against Flowers right here. Nice hands inside. Max about 4 yards backwards. You know what? There's no place for the zone to go now.
That's what Martin told us yesterday, David, that he had to do. Against the outside zone play. Morris gets rid of it. It's in the air, and it's intercepted. A diving pick off the deflection from Norkeithus Otis. That went off of John Feliciano, the offensive lineman, it appeared. Let's see who it hit. Oh, no, it hit Chantrell Henderson, I think.
Morris trying to set up the screen. Henderson just never got downfield out in front. I'm not sure if he was supposed to or not, Reese, but the ball hits him in the back of the head. And how about Otis? Had the pressure on Morris when he threw a pick earlier in the game. Comes up with a huge turnover in the red zone.
Another big stop by the Tar Heel defense. They're hanging on to a 7-point lead. We have a major upset in the ACC to start the weekend tonight. Wait, another completion from Renner. Davis. Twin shots close to midfield.
I think as we look forward, guys, North Carolina's found their answer at running back, and it's going to be TJ Logan the rest of the way. He's made plays tonight running the football, catching the football in pass protection. He's helped provide balance finally to this UNC offense, which they haven't had all season.
Logan has 51 yards rushing tonight on 13 carries. Renner underneath. Wide open Davis. First down inside the 40, and he's finally knocked down by Thurston Armbrister.
And it's the same story, dude. I mean, crossing patterns underneath, wide open. Linebackers and cornerbacks, you see the blitz there, but trying to pass it off, you see Perryman try to pass it off. I don't know who he's passing it off to. Nobody's there to pick it up.
Ryan Switzer has a blocker in front. It's Ebron who gets a good block for it. Switzer's pushed out of bounds.
Miami is
Yes, they are. We talked about
need the oxygen tank on the sidelines right now.
And this North Carolina offense, guys, in rhythm. Bryn Renner told us yesterday, we're at our best when we convert a first down on the first 2 plays of the drive. They've done that now, and all of a sudden they get the defense on their heels, skating backwards.
Renner has been in rhythm, hitting all 4 of his passes on this drive. Closing in on field goal range, but the Tar Heels have designs on something larger. Bug Howard going for the corner. Bug is shoved out of bounds. They'll mark him out right at the 26. It's enough for a first down.
That is an easy decision for Bryn Renner to make, guys. Right now, North Carolina has numbers advantages outside. Only 2 defenders lining up against 3 wide receivers. Again, that quick throw is the extension of a sweep play, creating grass, making plays in the open field.
Well, Renner has made plays. He's hit 18 of his last 19. Make it 19 and 20. A.J. Blue close to a first down. Now it's Figueroa making the stop. The second and short, more of that rhythm that you're talking about.
And they just need to keep their foot on the pedal right now. Miami getting tired. North Carolina running the football, spitting it out wide, easy completions behind the line of scrimmage, and allowing playmakers to do positive things in space.
Carolina's receivers a little mixed up. Sean Tapley and Howard switched spots, so they didn't get it snapped as quickly as they normally like. Renner got room. First down, Bryn Renner. Renner inside the 10 before he's knocked out of bounds. Pushing him out is Ladarius Gunter, but North Carolina inside the 10. It'll be first and goal.
That time the clock went off in Renner's head. We've seen him take a sack. We've seen him slip and fall in the red zone. It was critical this time. Not open downfield. Tuck it, make something positive happen.
How frustrated could you be if you're a Miami defensive back? I mean, you finally get a pressure with your front four, and then the quarterback takes off and scrambles and still gets a first down.
But Marquise Williams in at quarterback. Trio package with 3 running backs. Some people call it the diamond. It looks like an inverted wishbone.
I know one thing. I'm calling a run, Reese Davis.
Threw an interception earlier out of this formation. There's a run. Missed tackle in the backfield. Logan inside the 5.
You see an example of the speed that TJ Logan has, the ability to hit the edge, make somebody miss, and make something positive happen. Very impressed watching the young true freshman tonight.
Williams stays in. Not sure if they're going to get it off before the 3rd quarter expires, and they do not. 3 undefeated teams went down last weekend. One of them in the top 10 lost to an unranked opponent on the road. Right now, North Carolina is 4 yards away from going up by 2 touchdowns and having number 10 Miami in a world of trouble. North Carolina knocking on the doors. We start the 4th quarter. A.J. Blue tripped up. It'll be 3rd and goal.
A.J. Blue on the carry.
So we've seen the size at wide receiver be an advantage for North Carolina in this area of the field so far tonight. At wide receiver outside, guys like Eric Ebron at 6'4". He's a guy that's lined up all over the field. Got to get up close to him and jam him. He's a guy that can make plays in traffic. Quinshaw Davis, another guy, 6'4", already has a touchdown catch.
Ebron has only 1 catch in the 2nd half.
He's got man coverage in the slot.
Renner is looking for him. Now he's throwing it away, and North Carolina will settle for the field goal attempt.
Wow, Miami brought pressure. There's an idea. Speed up the thought process, take away the quick game. See more of that from them. They've just been sitting back, giving up everything underneath, and it's been guaranteed frustrating for these defenders.
We've seen North Carolina's defense come up with stops in the red zone, goal-to-go situations. Now Miami has its defense come up large, but if Thomas Moore can knock through this 21-yard field goal, it will be a 2-possession game.
I thought for a second maybe they were going to try to fake that.
They're going to back it up. This is actually going to be 22. They're calling it 21. I get the snap off pretty soon, and they do. Moore on the way. 10-point lead for North Carolina. Plenty of time for the Hurricanes. They don't have an offensive touchdown tonight. They got to get busy when you come back. Great shots of Kenan Stadium, and if North Carolina can hang on to this lead for 14 minutes and 17 seconds, these Zero Dark Thursday students might just shake old Kenan Stadium right off its foundation. This is easily, David, North Carolina's best performance of the season, at least through 3 quarters in nearly a minute. Coming out of the end zone is Artie Burns. Burns gets it nearly to the 25. And Steve Dallas Crawford looking for running room, runs through a couple of tackles. Good run by Crawford. And just to reset, if you happen to just be joining us, Duke Johnson was hurt, head injury early in the game, trying to pass protect against Kareem Martin. Philip Dorsett, one of the most explosive receivers for the Hurricanes, left the game with a knee injury. So Miami has suffered some losses on offense, but they've self-destructed largely when they've gotten in the red zone. Back to Crawford, a big hole, and he bursts through it and gets up to the 48.
And even without Duke and Dorsett, they've still been able to move the football with some form of consistency. It's just been self-inflicted wounds when they get in plus territory.
Hey, Crawford's had a good night. He's getting close to 100 yards. The turnovers, miscues, missed opportunities in goal-to-go situations. Couple of early field goals for the Canes. Now they're in a hole. Crawford hitting the backfield. Martin's had a good night.
Reese, you just mentioned the turnovers. To me, that's the most concerning thing about Miami all season on offense. And to me, that's what separates them from a Florida State or a Clemson in the ACC. Florida State has only given the football up 3 times this year. Clemson only gives it up 1 time a game. Miami now has 13 turnovers on the year. I love that they're explosive. They can score as many points with all the speed they have as a Clemson or Florida State, but the inconsistency with the turnovers to me really scares you when you look at this offense, and it keeps them out of that elite, I think, conversation when talking about the ACC.
Morris wide open is the tight end, Clyde Walford. Walford into the red zone again. Jabari Price was over there. Haven't called Walford's name often, but he picks up 35.
There was a complete coverage bust here by cornerback Jabari Price. You're going to see him at the top of the screen. Here comes Walford on the corner. Just keep your eyes on the cornerback. Gets totally turned around. He's going downfield looking for the post in the middle of the field. Took his eyes completely away from the tight end.
Crawford might have had a big gain if not for Martin getting a hand on his shoelace as he went by. Back to the ground. Crawford. Not much. There is a flag down on the field.
Legal substitution on the defense. 12 men on the field. Half the distance. Second down.
It's the second time North Carolina has tried that old 12-man defensive trick. Vic Koenig, who got so angry during a practice, he bit down on a whistle and broke one of his front teeth. He might break the other one off. Miami came in averaging better than 45 points per game. They've yet to score an offensive touchdown tonight. Dallas Crawford. Crawford headed to the goal line. Canes are in the house. In Miami's 5th trip to the red zone in their 3rd goal-to-go situation of the evening, they finally get a touchdown.
We talked about Miami being a finesse running team, getting back to good old power football, pulling the backside guard. We've seen that these last couple of runs in the red zone, and I love the patience Dallas Crawford runs with. It shows up on tape. It shows up tonight.
Duke Johnson hurt. Crawford has turned in a 104-yard rushing performance.
The Tar Heels.
Jesse, to your point, I was talking to wide receivers coach Brennan Carroll, whose dad, Pete, is coaching the Seahawks tonight, and he told me that the similarity between this Miami team and the team that he coached at USC is just what you're saying. It's that confidence despite adversity. He said they didn't get big heads when they got the number 10 ranking, and they can handle this kind of adversity. I've seen it on the sideline all night. Never too much for these guys. Stephen Morris still encouraging his teammates. You can tell they know they're still in this.
Samantha is something Al Golden said they couldn't have handled a year ago. TJ Logan. Logan has to fight his way and still doesn't get back to the 20. Stopped at the 19. That's where the Tar Heels will take over. Marquise Williams back at quarterback. 3 running backs with him. Blue, the veteran, 24 years old, been around, battled injuries, picks up 3.
I normally would say put the hammer down, keep the accelerator down if I'm UNC, but the way my defense is playing, I don't mind if they get a little bit conservative here. I mean, I would not have said that if you watched any of their games up until this point. But defense doing a good job keeping them in it. Keep running the football. I mean, this punt's not a bad thing in this situation.
Renner started onto the field. He looks a little agitated on the sidelines as Marquise Williams stays in for the second snap of this possession. Williams gets hit hard. He'll be about a yard short of the first down.
And to your point, David, now's the time to slow the tempo down if you're North Carolina on offense. We've been talking all night long about how they go up tempo. They want to really tire this Miami defense out. Now's the time. Give your defense a break on the sidelines. Give them a breather. You do that by slowing the tempo down, getting the best possible play at the line of scrimmage.
Now Renner has returned, which might be a little surprising because one of the reasons that Williams is in is because he is the better running threat. They can make up for it by moving at 10. Hurricanes need to get off the field, get their offense the ball back. Pressure coming. Renner sacked. Tyreek McCord, pass rushing specialist. He gets to Bryn Renner. The crowd's displeased. Tar Heels are going to have to give it up.
Miami, when they get into third downs, they bring what they call their speed package in, and Quan Muhammad and Tyreek McCord, only a true sophomore. You're going to see him coming off the right edge. Nice job with his hands, batting down right tackle John Heck. A lot of speed coming around the edge.
Hey, Heck could have been called for holding. Not that they would have accepted the penalty, but he was going for a ride. McCord's back. A rugby-style punt. Boy, that is a beauty. What a beautiful punt off the foot of Tommy Hibbert. He backs Miami back up at the 10-yard line. 54 yards and out on the 10. Doesn't get any better than that. Dallas Crawford picks up about 6. There's plenty of time for Miami. They have all of their timeouts, and they've run the ball effectively tonight. I'd like to create a little space with Crawford.
And plenty of time, or not plenty of time, but plenty of confidence in North Carolina's defense up until this point. They've done a great job keeping the ball game.
Back to the ground. Crawford, first down. Clock will stop long enough to move the chains.
Miami's going to have to earn it, guys. You talked about the confidence this North Carolina defense has. Right now, they are loading the box. 8 defenders near the line of scrimmage, anticipating the run game from Miami.
Dallas Crawford replacing Duke Johnson, who was hurt in the first quarter. 120 yards. He scored the only offensive touchdown the Hurricanes have tonight. Eduardo Clements giving Crawford a break. Clements has the ball. Clements has a hole. He's still on his feet to the 35, another first down for the Canes.
This is a time when North Carolina really misses not having Sylvester Williams, that defensive tackle last year was a first-round pick for Denver. Having that disruptive force in the middle of the defense. Last year, North Carolina, 3rd in the nation in tackles for loss. They lived in your backfield. This year, they're not as stout up front. Miami taking advantage of that in the middle of the D.
They're going to have to pass at some point. Can Stephen Morris deliver? Quit turning the ball over and making mistakes.
Clements to midfield. And the Hurricanes are gashing them now. Inside 3 minutes to go, and they're moving it on the ground. Place kicker Matt Gudis, his career long is 45 yards. Hurricanes are down by 3. In Miami right now, 10th ranked team in the country. Gut check time, because if you're going to compete for championships, you're going to have nights where you don't play your best. They've run it 4 times for 39 yards on this drive. 5th run much shorter. Pickup of maybe 2. Trey Boston on the stop.
And they've been fine. They've been pushing them around all game. They got over 220 yards rushing. The problem they've come into is when they get 1 yard on first down, or they get a tackle for a loss, and then they've been in obvious passing situations. They've struggled to block North Carolina, and Stephen Morris has struggled completely to his team.
Morris, a completion. Hearns gets out of bounds. He's right at the first down marker. He'll have enough, I believe.
You talk about the depth and the maturity level for this Miami offense. Obviously down their 2 best players on offense, I think, outside of Stephen Morris and Duke Johnson and Philip Dorsett. And Hearns, the guy that's had to step up catching the football.
Crawford just went down.
Yeah, you've seen Crawford and Clements make plays running the football here. Guys showing up late.
Inside 2 minutes. Crawford knocked down. He's a yard short of field goal range, but it's only 2nd down. Still a lot of time to go, and Miami still has all of its timeouts.
No hurry right now, no panic. There's a calm on this offense right now, led by Stephen Morris. They understand the situation. They practice this scenario every week.
And it's not like you should be in a hurry, because
Carolina trying to turn around its season. Miami trying to remain undefeated. Draw. Crawford hitting the backfield, breaks tackles, terrific run to avoid the loss by Dallas Crawford, and at least get Miami in field goal range now on 3rd down. What do they do here, David? Do you trust Morris to pass for it, or do you run try to get the first down?
I'm pounding it. I'm pounding it right at him.
3 interceptions on 3rd down.
I'm doing the same thing. Trust your offensive line.
to the ground. Crawford running over people, and he almost popped it. First down, Miami. And now the Hurricanes have all of their timeouts left. Clock stops to move the chains.
Just more power football, pulling backside guards, and you see Duke Johnson's backup, Dallas Crawford, could be a starter on probably 85% of the teams in the country. He's got those kind of skills.
Now Miami spreads it out. Wonder if they'll start taking shots for the lead. Morris throwing, has a man open, and knocked out of bounds is Herb Waters, and Miami has a shot inside the 10-yard line. And Reese, they'll mark it on the 11.
And Reese, I think they should be taking these shots. And I know Stephen Morris has thrown 4 picks, but he's your unquestioned leader. With all the talent you have on the perimeter of the field, you've got to put the ball in his hands.
But I like that you had 2 plays called. You had your run play called, you had your next play called, you were ready to rock and roll and take advantage of what you wanted to do. Great 2 package plays there.
31 ticks, all the timeouts they can run it. Crawford hitting the backfield and pulled down. He's going to lose a couple. Now you got to use the timeout, the Hurricanes do.
This is where Miami's lack of height at wide receiver really hurts them. You know, they don't have a big body like a Bug Howard or a Quinshaw Davis of UNC or a Kelvin Benjamin of Florida State or a Martavius Bryant of Clemson. In this type of situation where you can say, look, you want to cover us one-on-one, I'm throwing a jump ball, I'm giving my guy a chance to come down and win this game. They don't have that guy.
Second down and 11. Morris firing to the outside, and out of bounds is Allen Hurns. Clock stops with 20 seconds to go. Miami can get a first down right at the 1-yard line.
And remember, when they were in this situation on their last drive, they pounded the football in, and really with ease. I mean, they took over with physicality. 2 timeouts in your back pocket. You can go ahead and run this football.
Go back to it.
No doubt.
You've had the most success all night being able to do it. Get big, bring in a couple more tight ends.
North Carolina's bringing in some bigger guys. Sean Underwood's a 305-pound freshman. He's checked into the game. Tim Jackson is back.
Kareem Martin's come up big for you all night. He's got to do it again.
3rd and 2. Canes to the ground. Going toward the end zone is Crawford. Did he make it? Touchdown, Miami! Dallas Crawford, 33 carries, 137 yards, and as we look again to make sure he got in, perhaps his 2nd touchdown of the night. He's in.
They go back to the bread and butter, the zone run, getting those offensive linemen on the tracks, just picking up black jerseys, and again, tremendous patience and just great power.
13 plays, 90 yards. Patient, meticulous. They wore down North Carolina in 27-23, and unless the Tar Heels have a miracle in them in the last 16 seconds, they're going to fall to 1-5 on the season. But Bryn Renner will have another shot. Hurricanes put this thing as deep as they can. They'll knock it out of the back of the end zone, and North Carolina will have 16 seconds to move the ball 75 yards. North Carolina's got a couple of timeouts, but probably not enough time to use them. Miami has 5 across and 3 deep. Renner trying to pick up a bunch. There's Ebron's 2nd catch, and he gets out of bounds. And at worst, North Carolina can at least throw a Hail Mary from here.
And again, they've got a lot of height outside at wide receiver. So if you needed a group of guys that could bring one down on a Hail Mary, this is one of probably the best lineups in the country for that.
But now North Carolina from the 43-yard line, a chance to chuck it toward the end zone.
Just get a little bit here.
And they will. Now Blue needs to get out of bounds, and he does. So North Carolina will have one more shot, and this is a very workable shot.
Yeah, and I love that because I don't want to go to the end zone there. Now I can use the whole field. I don't have to run everybody deep and just chuck it up. Renner's got the arm. He can throw it from 40 to get it in the end zone on a rope to anybody in any quadrant of the field.
But someone's going to have to make an unbelievable catch right now. Whether it's Eric Ebron, whether it's Quinshaw Davis,
Who you throwing it to?
I'd throw it to Ebron, personally. I'd find a way, move the pocket, pump fake somewhere, give my big tight end a shot.
What did they tell us about Bug, though? About Bug Howard?
Best elevator on the offense.
Dude, what was he? He was a basketball player.
Primarily, he treats a jump ball like going for a rebound, they say. He's not great in some of the intricacies of patterns, but send him down, let him go for a jump ball, and he's
Go
good at
deep,
it.
jump up and catch it. 84.
Miami trying to go 6-0 for the first time since 2004. Ebron in the slot, bottom of your screen. Bug Howard outside of it. Renner chucks it toward the end zone. It's going to be a jump ball. Going up for a quick shot. Davis had his hands on it, and he couldn't hold on to it, and Miami's going to get out of here with a win. Not sure Al Golden's heart started beating again after that.
Quinshaw Davis had a chance to come down with this. Look at the 6'4" receiver go up. It's in his hands. It was in his fingertips.
That's a great play by Cornelius.
Rayshawn Jenkins, number 26.
Look at 31, stick his hand in there and grab Quinshad's arm. Otherwise, he probably comes down with that.
Man.
That's a heck of a play.
You want to know the difference between a great season and absolute misery? That was a microcosm of it right there. North Carolina had the win on their fingertips and couldn't pull it down, and Miami, undefeated, getting out of Chapel Hill with a 27-23 victory. Miami remains unbeaten. Stephen Morris didn't have his greatest night, but most importantly for him, it was a winning one. Sports Center coming, Florida State, Clemson, upset alert in college football, and Case Keenum going for the Texans. 27-23, Canes win it. Time now to go to Sports Center.